Hey everyone, welcome to another winter edition of AGT Time. Cody Patterson here along with
Along with Jay Bach.
Hey Jay, how you doing this evening?
I am doing wonderful. We have made it through Christmas. We've made it through New Year's. Nobody was too sick in my family. Um, and it's nice to be back home in my own bed and my kids in their own routines. And we'll hope that things continue to stay healthy as we look towards January here. How about you?
Oh, we're doing great here on our side as well. You know, we got through Christmas, got through New Year. We're in 2019.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to everyone else out there. I think we're about ready to get started with AGT the Champions. It starts on Monday.
It starts on Monday. We'll continue to record on Thursday nights, and you'll produce them, get them out to the public on Fridays, right?
That's the plan. So, yeah, we'll record on Thursday. I plan to get them out on Fridays for you guys to listen to. They'll give us kind of a few days to get our thoughts together, watch the show maybe once or possibly twice. If you guys got any questions for us, comments on the acts that you saw that Monday night, you definitely can reach out to us. We're on Twitter at AGT Time. We're on Facebook, AGT Cast. Also, our email is agtcast@gmail.com. Each of us is on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Cody L. Patterson.
Yeah, and I'm on Twitter at OneManBander. That's all spelled out.
Well, Jay, we have arrived at our third preview of AGT the Champions. Last week, we kind of took a little break from the previews. We covered a re-gifted holiday special, which we didn't realize we were doing until close to the end. That was a lot of fun and very interesting to do. So go back and listen to the holiday special, because Jay and I talked about a holiday special that's 2 years old. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. But we're now on our third preview. And
yeah, they repackaged our holiday special for us. We got a little egg on our face, but lesson learned, I guess. Don't trust everything.
Yeah, it seemed both of us thought it seemed awful familiar, but we kind of thought, nah, AGT's not going to pull that on us. But lo and behold, they threw in a little Terry Crews and got rid of Jackie Ivanko and gave us a nice little 42-minute recap of AGT holiday special from 2 years ago.
It really was a nice reminder of who's going to be on our TV here coming up next week. There's some acts that it was good to see them again on the television. I think in general, your general public is going to appreciate some of those reminders to especially some of those older acts.
No, agreed. That was a lot of fun to watch them because we're going to see them again here in Champions. Some of those I hadn't seen except for when I watched this 2 years ago. But it was fun to rewatch them, get a reminder. We've already talked about some of them in our first two previews, but we're here in our third preview, and we're going to talk about some of the internationals that we're not too familiar with.
Yeah, this is a lot of new stuff to us.
Yeah, so there's 8 internationals, and they're all winners of their various Got Talent version from their respective countries.
Yep.
So we've got Ukraine, we've got a couple Australians, we've got some Denmark, some Spain, South Africa, Holland,
Russia.
We're gonna.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Did you say Russia?
Yes, we may have had a Russian in there as well. Yes, you're right. Yep, we did have a Russian in there as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of go through each one of these. We're not too familiar with them. We're going to kind of talk about them the best that we can. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to kind of do a little fantasy draft of AGT the Champions. Now, we know it's already been recorded. We've talked about this. It's similar to like a Survivor type thing where it's already been recorded. But neither one of us have really. I've kind of kept spoiler free. Have you kept spoiler free, Jay?
I have kept spoiler free. I clicked on a Reddit link that started to look like it was going to be spoilers, so I got out of it quick. So stay away from that if you don't want to know the winners. Please don't spoil us. It would it'd be disappointing.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to watch this as though it were live. We don't know what's happening. All we know are the acts that are coming on. So we're going to do a little fantasy draft. We're each going to pick 10 players, not players. What's not
10
sports?
acts.
10 acts. Yeah, 10 performances. And then we're going to kind of see how our team works out. We're going to allow ourselves to change in and out any acts that are still in the show. If an act has been eliminated and they're on our team, they're stuck on our team. We can't get rid of them. But if they're still in the show, we're going to see if we can change them in and out, and see if we can get a little bit better act that we're liking better than what we have on our team.
Yeah, I'm going to try to sort of keep up with my grading system here. And if I see somebody that's trending down or trending up, I may swap people out as I see fit. We'll have to make sure that we don't step on each other's toes with that, but I'm not too worried. We'll play friendly.
Oh yeah, this will be a lot of fun. I love doing little fantasy sports, and this is kind of a little twist on it.
Yes.
So, you ready to get into some internationals, Jay?
Let's jump into it.
Go ahead and talk about the first one there.
Our first one, now bear with us everybody, we're going to murder some names here. But we got Kseniya Simonova.
I think that's right, yeah. Yep, that sounds right.
And she is a sand artist. On America's Got Talent, there was a gentleman back on season 7, Joe Castillo, who was he was finalist, like 5th place, I think. That's my notes say.
Yep.
It's the same kind of medium that she's using. It's the backlit table. She's got sand on top of it, and they move the sand around. They brush sand off. They stack it up. They make pictures. They tell stories through this. In a lot of ways, it's similar to your silhouette acts that are making shapes with their bodies. They're just doing it with sand. The act that I saw of hers, I think it was her audition act. It was kind of the classic man and woman fall in love. Man goes off to war. There's bombs exploding. As the bombs explode, she throws more sand on the table and sort of messes up the whole thing. We watch the young woman transform into an old woman. Then there's a monument and children beside it, and it finishes with the woman and children kind of looking out the window. Really, really powerful stuff. I'm not really a history buff, but looking at the history of Ukraine and the World War II era, she put a 1945 on the screen, so we're talking about World War II here. But Ukraine lost like tens of millions of people in World War II, and I'd imagine that they are still reeling from the effects of the awful war. So, like the power of those images, especially to that Ukrainian audience, it was really, really pretty cool. You could see the emotion in the audience as she was doing her art. I liked this act a lot. I was really impressed. I always love a new art form. She does it very, very well. Artistically, I'm impressed. She's also a young, beautiful woman, which doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I think she's in her early 30s at this point. I think today she's in her early 30s. So yeah, she's young, attractive, Ukrainian woman. I think that I may have watched the finals episode and not the audition episode.
Oh, really? What did you see?
Well, I enjoy the sand artist. I love Joe Castillo. He was one of the ones I really thought should have won in season 7.
Yeah.
Well, he should have been higher than he was.
Okay.
I definitely thought he should have beaten the Latte Dogs. And so I love Joe Castillo. And I found out at one time, and I reminded myself of this when I was watching all this, that Joe Castillo's actually lived in my area at one point in time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his son works out at the local NASCAR Speedway.
Oh,
so
wow.
kind of name dropping there a little bit that he's kind of from this area. He's got some family in this area. I'd forgotten that up until recently. I think someone told me that when he was originally on. So it's kind of a hometown thing for me. But I really liked Joe Castillo at the time. I love the sand artist thing. It's a very different, original type of medium. It's not painting or dancing. It's very, very original. I liked what she was doing for a little while. The performance that I watched was 10 minutes long.
Oh my gosh.
Now, if you remember on America's Got Talent, they get a minute and a half, 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
Like on the high. This was 10 minutes long. There were 2 YouTube videos. They actually had to stop it in the middle and go to another video to get it so they could show it on there.
Yeah. That's a lot of sand art.
It's a lot of sand art. I probably watched it for 4 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then I just kind of fast forwarded through some of it, just to kind of see what else there was. The images that I kind of saw was, again, another family. And she changed that a lot. I mean, she kept throwing sand on. There was a family kind of in a the family grew. It started as a woman, then a man, then a child. And I think it became like a photograph. And then there was another person kind of looking at the photograph. And then after that point, I just kind of lost interest just because it was going on too long.
Sure. Yeah.
Not that the art itself wasn't good. It was just too long. I don't know if that's normal for these international acts, because, and we'll talk about one of the other ones later, but it seemed like there was only 2 performances, like in the finals.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if that's normal to just to have a small handful of acts, and they give them longer to perform, which I don't know if I think I may like or not. I kind of like, I kind of want our finalists to have more time than just the 2 or 3 minutes, especially like when a comedian comes out. They get a very short period of time. I want them to do a longer set.
Okay.
So I think I do kind of like the long performance, but for this one, it just seemed too long. I think 10 minutes is a really long time.
An entire 10 minutes for any group is a long time.
It is. I mean, that's 2 or 3 songs for some singers.
If it's a soloist, if it's a singing group, if it's a dance group, like, you're going to be bushed by 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're going to be beat. And for her to kind of go and do sand art for 10 minutes straight. Now, she was doing it to music, and the music that played mirrored what she was doing on her canvas.
Uh-huh.
So she was right along with the music.
Yes.
At the time, which I thought was kind of cool. But this just felt too long. I enjoyed it for the 4 minutes or so that I watched. But I don't think she's going to be allowed to do 10 minutes on AGT. No,
she won't. In fact, when I graded this one out for myself, I gave her an A-. I thought this was a really, really strong act, and I said I only knocked her a few points for being slow at parts. So I can imagine over 10 minutes that getting certainly some fatigue sets in.
No, and I kind of agree. I probably would have given her like a B+, maybe. But I don't think it's all her fault because she's told, hey, you need to do this for 10 minutes. Sure. I don't think that's something she just chose to do. If this were a 4 to 5 minute act or a 3 minute act, and she were to do a couple of images, I think this would have been, one of the top acts that we saw in this list. And I think I don't know if she'll be a winner in AGT. She might get out of the first round. I don't know how they're going to do the rounds, but I think she could probably get out of the first round for just being the original. Not the original, but because of the originality of sand art.
Yeah, I would hope so. I agree.
Yeah, yep. She was Ukraine's winner in 2009. So I kind of want to touch on that. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's a good 11 years ago now.
Right.
Or 10 years ago.
And from what I could tell, is she's got a good following. She's real strong on YouTube. She's very well known. So she could probably dust up some people.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see her get through to the next round. I think that variety is the strength of America's Got Talent, and this is a really unique thing.
Completely agreed. And that's all I've really got for Kseniya.
That's all I got too. Do you want to tell us about Justice Crew, or Australia's Got Talent 2010 winners?
Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about Justice Crew. I'll tell you it was a big snoozer for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Australian Got Talent 2010 winner, and I kind of saw a trend amongst all of these that some of these, I don't know if the talent pool from these 8 winners is going to be up to the talent pool that we're going to see from America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. I'll just kind of get that out there.
I tend to agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, this dance crew, I think if they were to be on America's Got Talent, they would probably get out of auditions. I don't know if they would have gotten any further.
Yeah, the judges like their dance crews. I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see them get to live performances anyhow. But I'm not real high on any dance crew. You got to show me something that I've never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really hard to do something that I've never seen before, and I don't even watch dance. But, these guys are from Sydney. I never have high hopes for a dance crew. They did come out and do a few things that I was impressed with. They had a couple of moves where... I expected something to happen and they did something else. A guy was kind of going into a flip into a somersault, and he stopped himself in the middle of a somersault with his feet up in the air. And they've done some slow motion moves that kind of play with your eyes with sort of what you expect. Did you see their final when they were dressed as nerds with the bow ties and the sweater vests?
Yeah, I saw that one. I watched a little bit of it. I kind of breezed through several of their videos,
Okay.
and I was just not impressed on any level.
Okay.
With these guys, we've seen some of these. We've seen dance crews before, and I think we've seen dance crews that are much better than these guys. They just did not show me anything that we haven't seen before.
Yeah. A couple things that I hadn't seen, and I just made notes of these here. They did sort of I'm going to call it like an analog strobe light effect, where, as you hear the shutter sound of the camera, they move to a new position. And one of the guys was balancing on his hands as they were moving to the new positions and locking into those positions along with that shutter effect. That was kind of cool. I was reasonably impressed with that. They did another one. It was like the sawing a woman in half trick. A guy jumped onto their arms as a row of guys, 4 guys maybe, had their backs to us. One guy jumped into their arms, and as he's jumping in, they're already holding a guy who extends the top half of his body out the left side. And then they step apart, and if you're not watching closely, you're surprised. Whoa, they just cut him in half. It's kind of a live action magic trick. It was some stuff that I hadn't really seen before. For a dance troupe, I was fairly impressed. I certainly, like I said, it takes something special for me to be impressed by a dance troupe. I'm going to give them a B-, which is pretty high.
I think that's absolutely high for them. I maybe I just couldn't get into the finals because I watched their audition and whatever the next stage was for Australia. I watched some of that, and then by the time I watched some of their finals, I just couldn't get into it. If I was giving them a grade, it would have been a solid C-.
Okay.
I just don't think they had anything in 2010. 9 years later, who knows what they're going to be doing now? Could not even be this. Could be totally different guys.
And
at this point,
you're talking like physically different people.
Could be different people in the crew. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no telling what they're doing 9 years later. But from what I saw in 2010, I just wasn't impressed.
Yeah, I'd imagine a dancer's career is only so long before you get sore and age catches up with you. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what we do have 9 years later.
Well, we'll get to see it Monday night. So
All right, yeah.
everybody tune in.
Here we
So
are. And
I just don't have. I just don't have much else for Justice Crew.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we see
thought,
all 50 acts here on Monday night. By the way.
Oh no! I know that. And when I saw the name Justice Crew, I thought that was a person. I didn't know it was actually a crew. I thought it was somebody named Justice Crew. So.
Well, here's another stage name as our next performer here. We've got Cosentino.
Yeah, Cosentino. Now this I enjoyed.
Okay.
The only thing I watched a little bit more of his. Now at the beginning, Cosentino is an escape artist. He's the 2011 Australia's Got Talent winner. So we've got 2 from Australia so far. I think they're probably, if you were to look at the Got Talent shows, you'd probably have AGT, would probably be the big one, then Britain, and then Australia would probably be your third one. That's the level of talent.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's the case, or that's my sort of observation, anyhow.
Yeah, and but Cosentino, he's an escape artist. One thing that really caught my attention from him was he dances a lot.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, so he kind of adds that to his trick, where he kind of adds some dancing in, a little entertainment. He's a little bit more exciting than some of the other escape artists that we've seen recently, especially on America's Got Talent. He's got a personality. One of the judges said that he was the Michael Jackson Makes Magic, which I thought was kind of a dated reference.
A little bit. So I watched all 4 performances of his, or all 4 that they had put together. His first performance, like you said, he comes out, he's dancing, he's kind of doing some like sideways moonwalk. He makes a woman appear in a cage. He has a guy stand on a contraption, then he covers the front of this contraption. He cranks this guy's head down a couple feet, and his feet get cranked up to his head, and then his feet go back down and his head goes back up, and this guy walks out of this contraption unscathed. And then his third trick in the act here, he has this first woman stand on top of a box, pulls the curtain up, and he drops the curtain and she disappears magically. All of these are illusions that I've seen before. I have a pretty good sense of how they're done. But it was fine. He certainly has some stage presence. His second performance, he did his escape act stuff. So he locked himself in this water-filled box, and he had to pick 8 locks to get himself out. He did it in under 2 minutes. His third performance was the human bear trap, the exact same act that Darcy Oak had done on Canada's Got Talent. Or no, was it Canada?
No, Britain's Got Talent.
He's Canadian.
Darcy's from Canada. Okay. He's on Britain's Got Talent. Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So it was like literally the same contraption, the same setup. I don't know how dangerous it is, but having just seen this, just judged a guy on it, I was like, it's that same trick, or the same thing. It's not original. And then his final performance is what really pushed me into the negative here for Cosentino. His finale performance to win Australia's Got Talent was the exact same as his audition. The same 3 acts, the same dancing, and everything. So I was really disappointed for the lack of originality on that. I wanted him to step it up for his finale instead of go back to the origin. I'm going to give him a C+ for lack of originality. I think that with more years of performance and a bigger budget and everything else that's happened since he won in 2011, maybe he can really step it up and be something great. But I was a little disappointed with this act.
Yeah, I like the first one. I don't think I saw the finals. I may have also watched one where he came back in 2012 to kind of do like the.
Oh, sure.
He was one of the guest performers.
Uh-huh.
And the act he did, he was in a straitjacket and he was sitting in a chair, and there was a giant axe above his head, and he had to get he was locked up in the chair in the straitjacket. And he had to get out, and before the axe came down and chopped him in half. And of course, he got out right when it was coming down.
Oh, unbelievable!
Unbelievable, I know. But it was still kind of entertaining. At first, I thought the dancing was a little distracting, but as I kind of watched, I was like, okay, this is kind of his bit. He moves around the stage and he kind of keeps things lively. He's not boring. He's not dull. At least he's moving type thing. So I kind of enjoyed that. One of the acts, he had his assistant in an electric chair.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how that would. I don't know how that act would come across in America.
It's a little sensitive, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that's an act. I'm not, NBC may tell him, no, you can't do that one. I just thought that was kind of interesting, where the assistant was kind of in the
electric chair, yeah.
A criminal jumpsuit and tied up in a electric chair, and then I think made her disappear or something.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little interesting. I was looking up Darcy Oak when he won Britain's Got Talent, and he won Series 8, which in what year was that? Anyway, I'll have to keep looking. 2014. So if you look at this, Cosentino did it first.
He did the human trap before Darcy Oak did.
Yeah, so there you go.
All right. Well,
so I want to kind of give a little trivia on Australia's Got Talent, since we've got two performers from here.
Okay.
It's one of the most closely related ones, similar to America's Got Talent and Britain's Got Talent. So I kind of want to do a little trivia for Australia's Got Talent, because it's also AGT. So it aired every year from 2007 to 2013. Then they took a break from 2013 and came back in 2016. So it took a 3-year break.
Oh, wow.
Then they took another break, and they're coming back again next year.
In 2019.
So I don't know why I think Britain and Australia or some of the other countries may do this, or something doesn't air every year. They may just take a couple years off and then come back. Another quick thing is, you'll never guess who one of the judges was, or I think currently is. So we have one Spice Girl on our AGT.
Yeah, we've got Scary Spice, Mel B.
We've got Scary Spice, yep. They've got one of the Spice Girls as well.
Oh, yeah? Who's that?
They got Ginger Spice.
No kidding.
Jerry Halliwell is currently a judge on Australia's Got Talent. So Simon loves him some Spice Girls.
If you got a good thing that's working, don't break it.
I guess so. So that's kind of a little bit of trivia there for Australia's Got Talent.
Thank you. Not
a problem.
We talk about how I think Britain's Got Talent. We said they call it a series instead of a season.
Yes.
And a season comes once a year, but a series, maybe you're not quite so locked into an annual thing.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. So that's all I've got on some Australia's Got Talent and Cosentino. If we're ready to move on to the next crew.
Yeah, let's jump into the next crew.
There you go, DDF crew.
DDF crew. These are jump ropers. Do you want to take this, or do you want me to?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Well, we had it's 4 guys. They're a jump roping. I'd almost call them a jump roping dance crew, or a dance crew with jump ropes as props. They had a little bit of comedy in their dancing. Pretty straightforward, switching jumpers. The people that are swinging the ropes jump to the inside. The people on the inside jump to the outside. There's flips and there's all that sort of stuff. Take a quick break for a Titanic scene with the.
That was funny.
They're standing on the front of the boat and I'm the king of the world. That scene. It was good. I didn't notice any mistakes, any errors in their jumping. The second performance that I watched, they did like a 1920s newsboy theme with the flat caps and the canes and some jazzy clarinet music. again, was fun and light. Third performance was a little more modern. Had some comedy in there, and they even employed some black light effects. Did you see that one?
No, I only watched their audition episode. Yeah.
Yeah, so they showed a lot of variety with as much variety as you can with jump ropes. Anyhow, I liked that they were more than just a dance crew. I'm going to rate them higher than the Justice Crew, but not a lot higher. I'm going to give them a B. For originality and for being more than just a dance crew.
Now, the jump rope definitely adds points. I enjoy a good dance jump rope crew. I think we've even seen some jump ropers on AGT. They're a lot of fun to watch. There's some different things that they can do. They're the 2012 winner from Holland's Got Talent.
Yes.
So I guess they do double Dutch.
Yes.
See what I did there?
Yeah, you had to go there.
Yeah, had to go there. So, I enjoy the jump roping. Did you find the speaking Dutch distracting at all, or with subtitles?
No, I didn't.
Did you find it interesting that some of them, or most of them, were speaking Dutch, and then you had the one judge speaking English?
I'm not even sure that I watched the judges' reactions. I think I just saw performances back to back to back.
Okay, then you missed something pretty big.
Oh.
So they had the judge reaction, and all of the jumpers, they're speaking Dutch. 2 of the 3 judges are speaking Dutch, but then you got an American on there speaking English.
Was it the Hoff?
It was not the Hoff.
Oh.
No. It was a guy named Dan Carity.
Okay.
And I've never heard of him, but I think he's a producer. He's judged dance talent. He's kind of in the biz.
Okay.
Seems like a younger type dude. But he would speak English. Everyone else is speaking Dutch. So when they would speak Dutch, they'd have the subtitle. But then when he would speak English, they'd have the Dutch
subtitle. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I thought that was a little interesting. It was a little distracting, and I was a little confused. If there was an interpreter or if they had an earpiece in. I didn't know how that was working. Because one of them would talk, and then all of a sudden, they'd laugh at the joke or whatever. But of course, it's all edited.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to see that.
Yeah, curious.
We finally get an American judge on one of these shows. It was going to be in Holland. But these guys, they won the golden ticket.
Yeah. So they were whose golden ticket then?
I'm not sure. I couldn't figure it out if it was one of the judges' golden ticket, or if they kind of did it as a group. It's like all of a sudden they just said, "Oh, you won the golden ticket."
Oh, wow.
I couldn't really figure out if all 3 of them get a golden ticket, or it's kind of a group thing where they just hand out one. But there was no confetti, there was no song, there was no light show. It was just like, "Hey, here's your golden ticket."
Also, the golden ticket. Okay.
Yeah, and the little presenter was like, "Hey, they won the golden ticket." It's like,
okay.
Yeah, so they're going to the live show. So.
Yeah, and so they were the winners of Holland's Got Talent back in 2012. So
in 2012, that's right. Yep.
We do have championship caliber, championship group there.
Oh well, all of these are winners.
Yeah,
every single one of these are winners.
That's right. No matter what we say on these last few acts, every single one of these is winners.
They were all winners. Yeah.
Should we jump? Why don't you tell us about our next guy, Alex Magala? I bet you loved him, though.
Oh, so Alex Magala, I only have one comment written down for him. Was also on Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I looked him up a little bit. When I looked him up to watch this video, he was Russia's Got Talent 2014 winner.
Yes.
When I looked him up, there was also videos for when he was on Britain's Got Talent.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So when I watched the video, I was not wowed at all. He did some pole dancing. He was supposed to be a sword swallower. I didn't really see him do any of that. I think he lit like a ring of fire and did some more pole stuff. But I was not impressed by what he did at all.
Really? I thought you liked these danger acts.
I love these danger acts when they're good.
Okay.
I don't want to see crappy danger acts. I want to see good danger acts.
So they have him listed as a sword swallower / pole aerialist.
Yes.
So, he does some classic pole dancing stuff, where he, extends his body on the pole and looks like he's, walking up a wall in air. Some really, physically demanding stuff. But he's swallowing swords, and, the first sword that I saw him swallow, he, does a bow to the judges, and they're like, oh, wow, he even can bend his body. And then he jumps and starts doing backflips around the stage with the sword still down his throat. And then
I must have seen a completely different video than
you must have seen something totally different, because I think that I thought you were going to love this guy.
And I do like this type
I think you
stuff.
will.
Yeah, okay.
So what I saw was him doing a lot of, I think they call it a death drop, where, with the sword yet down his throat, he climbs to the top of the pole, flips himself upside down, and, falls towards the earth, using just his legs around the pole, and he stops himself inches from the ground. Did a similar thing with a spinning drill bits down at the bottom of the pole, once with a chainsaw down at the bottom of the pole. It's a little bit of the same thing over and over, this death drop, but you got to be not 99% accurate. You got to be 100% accurate when you're doing these death drops, because things can go seriously wrong real quick. I liked this act. I think you're going to like this act when you expose yourself a little bit more to him.
Okay.
I'm going to give him an A.
Okay, there you go. Okay, well, I've got something to look forward to now. I think that AGT, they started releasing some preview videos.
Yeah?
And I think they released a preview video of this guy.
Okay.
I didn't see the name. I just saw that they had Sword Swallower and it may have been Pole Aerialist. But they kind of talked about, in the headline, Sword Swallower climbs pole, and so it may have been this guy. I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Terry Crews seemed to be very grossed out by it, but I didn't watch the whole thing because I didn't want to. I want to wait until the show comes on.
Yeah.
But I don't know what video I saw then, because what I watched I was completely bored by.
Okay. Well, we'll see if he gets drafted here come time for us to do our draft here in a little bit.
Okay, so what did you think of DJ Arch Jr.?
Okay, if you were not impressed by Alex Magala, man, I really, truly, seriously cannot believe that he is our winner of South Africa's Got Talent 2015.
A 3-year-old.
Yeah, and it's classic. He's not bad for a 3-year-old, but you give me the equipment that he has and show me how to use it, and 20 minutes later I'm going to be able to do what he can do. He's a DJ. He makes beats. This isn't my thing. He has an interest in making the music. He has the patience to make the music. He has the wherewithal to learn the skills. But I don't care for this act. I'm not going to give anybody an F, apparently. Some people like this. He's cute, but I'll give him a D+.
As I was watching the video, I was trying to pay attention to when he would turn the knobs or do stuff actually on his little board, and when he would turn the knobs, I didn't notice any change in the sound. So it was almost like it wasn't even doing anything. He was just turning knobs, but it wasn't doing anything.
I would be surprised if that were actually the case. If it were all just smoke and mirrors, but.
Okay.
If that's the case, I would knock this right down to an F right now, because there was nothing there.
Now, right below this video, though, was kind of a video of him present day from last year.
That's what I was going to ask you. So he won in 2015, and here we are in 2019. He is no longer 3 years old.
No, he's 6 years old.
What's that going to do for his act? What did you see?
Well, so there was a video of him, at 6 now. He did look older. I mean, he's he's twice as old as he was, and he was doing his DJing, and I noticed a big difference. I noticed he'd turn the knobs, he'd press the buttons. That's what happened. So it actually looked like he was DJing this time, whereas in 2015 it didn't. It looked like he was playing with his little play school thing that like you turn the stuff, it doesn't really do anything. But it looked like he was actually DJing now.
Okay.
And it looks like he was pretty good at it. So as a 6-year-old, we've seen 6-year-old kids sing and do performances. He might be pretty good. I'm not big on the DJs. We've had teenage and older and adult DJs on the show. I'm not a big fan of DJs, but he seemed pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. You gotta give me something like throw some comedy in there. Make make some jokes or some funny sounds or something. Because
yeah,
I can't give you more than 30 seconds on this. Like it's really I do not like this.
Are you a big Friends? Are you a fan of Friends?
I've seen enough.
You've seen enough? Did you see the episode where Ross gets a synthesizer?
No.
Okay, so there's an episode where Ross gets his synthesizer when he was a kid, and it's got all the like maybe when you were a kid you had keyboards and synthesizers, and all you did was like play the noises.
Sure.
So that's kind of what this episode was about. It was about Ross, thinking he's this great keyboardist, and all he's doing is like just playing the noises and the sounds and stuff. So.
Oh man.
So there's your those of you that are fans of Friends. There's your Friends moment.
All right, there's your Friends moment.
Yeah.
Let's blow through a couple more of these because it's not getting a whole lot better.
No, it's not. Well, I don't know about that.
Okay, give me sell me on Cristina Ramos.
So Cristina Ramos, they have her down as an opera rock singer. Mm-hmm. She was Spain's Got Talent in 2016. And I like me some opera singers. I know you're not a big fan of the opera singer. And it kind of spoiled a little bit when it said opera rock because in the middle of her opera song, she broke into Highway to Hell. In English.
Yes.
So they didn't even translate it to Spanish. It was in English. So it was actually Highway to Hell. And did you watch this one?
I did.
Okay, so you saw that the judges were just going absolutely bonkers over her.
Yeah, I
and
saw
I've never seen judges get so excited about an act, but they were. And I think her husband is like some famous singer. They seem to know her husband.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if they were kind of playing up to that, but the judges were just going nuts over this girl. I liked it. The opera to rock. I even watched, I think her finale one. She kind of did the same thing. She started out kind of a classical and then went to a rock song. I don't remember the rock song she did, but she went to a rock song. This was kind of fun. She was also the golden buzzer.
Yeah.
For this season.
So, to knock her down a peg or two here, she, I don't think she hit all her notes. When she sings in English, it's like when I was in choir and they would have me sing in Latin and I didn't know Latin, so you just learn to make the shapes of the notes with your mouth or the shapes of the vowels, and you try and put the consonants at the beginnings and the ends where it's supposed to be. I felt like that's what she was doing with English. She wasn't singing English; she was singing the English sounds. So, it was a little bit garbled, a little bit hard to understand the lyrics, or at least the English lyrics for me. And, the other languages I don't speak anything other than English. So, I didn't think that was particularly impressive. This is not the kind of music that I would listen to on purpose, the rock or the opera side of it. So, I can't grade her any lower than DJ Art. I'll also give her a D+ for me.
Wow.
Yeah. But maybe it was just really late when I was watching this. I don't know.
Yeah, and you'd already been through like 6 other acts. So yeah, you've been through a lot. you've had to struggle through some of these other things. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I thought the opera was better than the rock. I enjoyed it because it was a little variety.
Oh.
She kind of threw both of them in there. We don't really get a whole lot where they kind of mix the different talents. I'm not sure how well that will play on America's Got Talent. I think some people want either one or the other.
Yeah, I think, from what I've observed on America's voting for singers, she may be a fan favorite, but not this fan.
Oh, I think that's fair. So we'll just kind of have to see. So this is the second golden buzzer or golden ticket that we've had on here. And then we kind of wrap this up with Denmark's Got Talent winner, 2018 winner, the Moonlight Brothers.
The Moonlight Brothers are another dance troupe, or not troupe, but duo.
Duo, yes.
A couple of guys. Again, when I watched this, it was pretty late at night, so maybe they did more than what I saw. But it's two guys who dance. Generally, they move at the same time as the other one. They're generally in sync. I only saw one move that I'd never seen before, and that's what I'm watching for with the dance troupe, is doing something that I've never seen before. One of the guys crouched down, the other one extended his leg behind his head, and when the crouched one stood up, the other one used the momentum to do a backflip. Pretty cool for that one trick. Otherwise, they weren't funny, they weren't original, they weren't my kind of act.
No, they weren't mine either, and I have written down another snoozer. It wasn't late at night, it was kind of late in the day. I watched all of these today.
Okay.
so it was, I'd already kind of been through a lot with these others, and I just, to finish these off, and these are this year's winners.
Yeah.
Or 2018's winners. So they don't really have much to grow on.
Yeah.
Didn't we kind of see a duo dance team a couple years ago?
There were some guys that did some hand balancing, but that's not what we're thinking of.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of.
Was there like twin brothers that did kind of some pop-in, lock-in kind of dancing?
Maybe, yeah. It seems like it seemed like there was a couple of, one or two of those kind of acts that we've seen in the last few years. I can't remember any of them by name.
Yeah. These aren't the kind of acts that stand out to me. Just to put a bow on it, I'll give them a D plus along with Cristina and DJ Arts Jr.
If you had to rank the three of those,
oh man,
just right off the top of your head,
I'm gonna put DJ Arts Jr. on the bottom.
Okay.
We'll put. Jeez, we'll put Moonlight Brothers in the middle and Cristina Ramos in the top because
it's probably really close, but
I did not care for either of these three last acts, and I was really ready to be done with them. Hopefully, you know what? I hope that they come to this champions stage and that they really impress. I would love to be proven wrong. I'm generally not a hater. I don't like being down on things like this, but I'm hoping for so much more than what those three acts showed me.
I think I probably enjoyed Cristina Ramos a little bit more than the other two. DJ just didn't do much. The DJ just didn't do anything for me, and the Moonlight Brothers just felt very. And it gets me thinking that we're talking. We're used to seeing some really good talent.
Yes, indeed.
On America's Got Talent, and to watch these 8 performances, and to think that imagine what the rest of, and these are winners. Imagine what the rest of the talent pool is like.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly, a lot of acts come from around the world to the America's Got Talent stage.
Yes.
this is sort of the granddaddy of them all. I'd imagine it's probably got the biggest prize money and the most eyeballs on it and the biggest stage. This is where you want to make it. So certainly you're going to take the very best from all around the world who want to get onto that stage and to make a name for themselves on the America's Got Talent stage. Not to be all America first about things, but because it's the biggest prize money and because that's where you can do the most for you is on America's Got Talent. I guess that's what I expect to see is the people who can compete around the world to want to make it on America's Got Talent and want to make a living doing what they're doing, and use this as the launch pad. Okay.
Well, now that we've gone through all 50 acts, you ready to pick a team?
Let's go for it. Do we want to do a coin flip, see who goes first? Do you want to...
Jay, I'm going to let you go ahead and go first.
Okay.
I'm just going to pass the torch, let you go first. And we'll kind of do a snake draft. So you'll pick, then I'll pick two, and then you'll pick two. And
okay.
Does that seem to work for you?
That is fair.
Okay.
My top pick, first one off the board, I think because she is pretty fresh in people's minds. She's got recency bias on her side. She's also really great at what she does. I'm going with Darcy Lynn Farmer.
Ah, there you go.
Darcy Lynn Farmer, ventriloquist from winner of America's Got Talent summer 2017. She's a couple years older. She just had a Christmas special. I don't know if you watched that.
No, I was meaning to watch that and seeing if you wanted to talk about it some, but I didn't get around to watching it.
I watched a little bit of it. It was classic, like, cheesy Christmas holiday special. But you know what? It's time on the stage for her, and this was probably all recorded before she even did the holiday special, possibly at the same time as that holiday special. Hard to say, but you know what? I think she's wonderful. I really think that she's the best in the world at what she does. I think that she could take this whole competition.
I completely agree with you. She's got the whole package. She can sing. She got the ventriloquism down. She could be the first 2-time winner of America's Got Talent.
Yep.
I completely agree with you on that.
Who's your first and second pick?
But I'm going to try to be the upset here, and I'm going to go with Taylor Williamson, and I think he is going to be able to redeem himself from his second place finish, and tell some fresh jokes. Probably get a little fresh with Heidi. Him and Sal may have to battle it out between to see who gets time with Heidi. So there, yeah, that's my number one pick,
right.
Taylor Williamson.
Solid choice. I think he's a good comedian. I think that he's a good one off the board. I didn't have him in my top few, so I'm okay with you taking him.
Well, then I'm going to go again here, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe another comedian off the board because I love me some comedians. And I'm going to let Tom Cotter try to redeem himself as well.
Oh, okay.
So Tom Cotter, another second place finisher from 2007. He actually should have been. I talk about him. I talk about Joe Castillo, the Earth Harp. Those were my three big, the ones that I thought would finish 1, 2, and 3. And I thought Tom Cotter would win. I thought the Earth Harp would be second, and Joe Castillo would be third.
Okay.
So I'm going to see if he can redeem himself. I think he still has it. He has come on a couple of times to AGT as guest performers.
Yeah.
I think he's still got it. We talked the other day, or a couple weeks ago, about who we would like to see as a host for AGT. I think he would kind of fit into that role very well.
I think that's a great choice.
Great stage presence. He's got, he's very funny. He could work well with the contestants as well as the judges.
Yep, very likable, very professional. I like that. Well, I hate for you to take all the comedians. So the next two that I've got listed in order, man, I've got two more comedians listed. I don't want to be too comedian heavy here, but because we've got chances to swap out, I'm gonna go ahead and run with it. Britain's Got Talent 2018 winner, Lost Voice guy.
Yes,
he's my next pick. He's fresh. I think that America's going to love him. And then, it might be a bit of a stretch. He's been on America's Got Talent. He didn't win America's Got Talent. But I just get tickled by Piff the Magic Dragon. So I'm going to take Piff as my third pick off the board.
I think that's very good. Two very good picks there. Lost Voice guy, very fresh. A lot of YouTube followers right now. People are just sharing his videos all over the place. So America will know this guy when he comes in.
Yeah.
And then Piff, we just saw Piff for the second time in 3 years on the holiday special. I have not been fully exposed to Piff. I've basically seen him in this holiday special twice, and I may have seen a couple of other videos of him, but I haven't seen his AGT acts at all. So I haven't seen how he grew into AGT. I understand he has the dog, Mr. Piffles.
Yes.
I don't know yet how Mr. Piffles falls into the act, but I'm excited to see this. So I think that's two very, very, very good picks.
Thank you.
Now, we have kind of gone comedian heavy. I would consider Darcy kind of a comedian as well.
In so many ways, yeah, absolutely.
So we've kind of done what we can. We've kind of put the hurts on the comedians here. It's probably time to kind of broaden our horizons, spread our wings, as you may. And I'm going to go with, because there's still a couple more comedians, but we're not going to do that today. We're not going to do that right now. We're going to go with Kseniya.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely had him as one of my top tens.
So, we have Kseniya, who's kind of one of the visual artists, would you say? The screen artists?
Yeah, he dances with the screen behind him.
Yeah. So he's the winner from season... What year did he win? Season
2013.
Season 8?
Yeah.
Yeah. So winner from season 8. And he's a lot of fun to watch. He's got a good personality, good stage presence. I don't know. It'd be great to see him win. I don't know if he will win. But we'll kind of see what he can do.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go with... this is probably going to be a pretty controversial pick at this point. I'm going to go with Prince Poppycock.
Ooh, another one of my top tens.
There you go. So I love Prince Poppycock when he was on a really long time ago.
Yeah, 2010 is what I have listed.
2010, okay. So not as long ago as I thought. I actually thought it was much further back than that. But, 9 years, that's still a really long time.
Yeah.
When you think about it, AGT is only season... We just finished season 13.
Yeah.
It seems like it's been on a lot longer than that.
Well, it's been 13 years. Which isn't nothing. But, yeah, it's... yeah.
But I love Prince Poppycock. He's got an excellent voice. He's got a good bit with his makeup and his kind of, Victorian era costumes that he wears.
Yep.
And I just think that's a lot of fun. It's not for everyone, but I really enjoy that he's not just an opera singer. He's kind of got this whole other bit going on.
Yeah, America loves their singers. If you can be a singer and something more, Prince Poppycock's a great choice.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me make my notes here. Kseniya and Prince Poppycock. I'm going to go with a singer myself for my next one here. Let's take Susan Boyle.
Okay.
we're getting to the point where I don't know that we're picking winners. But she's got, she's a professional. She's, I think, loved the world around. No reason why she can't be at least a contender in this. So I'll take Susan Boyle. And let's take Shin Lim, our 2018 America's Got Talent winner. He may be a little too fresh, having just won. But heck, why not go twice in a row?
And I think that's a pretty good pick. I still haven't finished season 13, so I'm not sure what he had to go up against. I like the card tricks, the close-up magic card trick guys. Mm-hmm. Him, John Dornbos, some of the others. So, I think he was enjoyable. I thought he was he kind of overdid it. He was over-dramatizing things some. Maybe he kind of calmed that down as he went on into further rounds. But Susan Boyle's a good pick. She's very well known. Everybody knows her name. She must have gone to Cheers. So I think that's a very good pick. I think she'll be able to move on just from fan votes in general.
All right, give us your 5th and 6th picks here.
Okay, so we're going to go a little international here, and I'm going to go Cosentino.
Okay.
I really liked his magic. There are some other magicians here, but I think people are going to kind of like the Australian inning. I think he's got a lot of personality. He's got some good bits as well. The dancing. I hope he continues with the dancing. It's just different than other types of magicians that kind of just flail their arms around and also kind of over dramatize some things.
All right. Well, you didn't steal him from me.
It wasn't on your list.
No.
Huh? And then I kind of been waiting on them, and I know you've kind of been waiting for me to call their names. But now we're going to pull out the clairvoyants.
All right.
So you know how much I love the clairvoyants. We saw them in the holiday special. From their Twitter feed, they say they've got some new stuff coming.
Okay.
So it's maybe a little bit different than what we've seen before. I love how they get the judges involved. I'm still baffled at how they do it. And it's just a little freaky, a little scary. So I enjoy me some clairvoyance.
All right. Another one that you didn't steal from me, so I'm totally cool with that. For my 7th and 8th picks, I think that America might really like Tokyo Myers. That's our pianist from 2017 Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah, I think America will like Tokyo Myers.
So I'm going to take him. I think he's young enough and hip enough, like to really get both the young crowd, but it's that classical. It's a real piano. He rocks a little bit, but not too hard. So I think that he's likable to a lot of people. And for my 8th pick, I'm going to go back to the comedians. I'm going to take Tapeface.
That's a good pick.
I really like his stuff. I think that he does more with less, and I like him. So I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Yeah, when he did Unchained Melody and the season he was on, I loved that. I was rolling at that point. I think either Howie or Heidi, one of the judges, was up on stage with him, and that's kind of the one thing that I remember him from is that doing the Unchained Melody, and so I think that's a real good pick.
All right, those were my 6th and 7th picks. I think I said 7th and 8th earlier. This is your 7th and 8th picks.
Okay, so we need to get some singers in here. I think Brian Justin Crumb is probably going to be a big favorite.
Yeah.
As far as the singers go, I'm not big on the singers. I wasn't big on Brian Justin Crumb. I'm going more with my head than my heart on this one.
That's fair.
the voters really liked them some singers, and from what I remember, they really liked them some Brian Dustin Crump.
Fair. All right.
We'll go with that. Then we're also going to go with let's go with Paul Zerdin.
Okay. Yeah, he was high on my list, just outside of my top 10.
Okay. So Paul Zerdin, way back in season
2015.
Okay.
He won that. He was the second ventriloquist to win America's Got Talent.
Well, so we've got 2 ventriloquists in here so far. So we'll just kind of see them go up against each other.
Okay. For my 8th and 9th, let's take one of the groups that we talked about tonight. It's not our DJ. I'm going to go with Kseniya Simonova, our sand artist.
Yes.
Again, she's unique. She's something that we don't see a lot of. So I'm going to take Kseniya Simonova. Let me copy and paste her. And then for my second to last pick, my number 9, let's take Victor Key, the juggler.
Yeah, he was not anywhere near my list.
Okay.
We've talked about Victor Key before. That I'm just not a big fan of his.
Fair. I like him. And, if you're thinking with your head and not your heart, maybe I'm thinking with my heart, not my head on that one. But I do like him. I think that he's among the world's best jugglers, at least from what I've seen. And it's not just a juggler. He's Prince Poppycock-esh in his made up and larger than life delivery. So I'm happy to have him on my team.
Okay, well, good. We'll kind of see what he can do. For my last 2 picks, I'm going international again. I'm going with Uzair Novrozov.
Ah, yes.
So a little danger act, is that correct?
Yes, he climbs ladders and walks around the stage, and he's very good at what he does.
And then for my last pick, I'm trusting your judgment on this, and I'm going with Alex Magala.
No! I skipped him last time, thinking there was no way you were going to take him. Oh, man. All right.
So
that's fair.
I'm trusting your judgment that I'm going to like this guy.
You're going to love him.
I hope so. I really, really do, because this is kind of what I love about America's Got Talent is these type of acts. I don't know what video I watched. I'm going to have to go back through and watch, see if I can find again what you were describing, because I don't know what the fans will think of him. The fans kind of like some of this stuff early on. They don't like him too much later on, but I think he'll be a lot of fun to watch, and I want to root for him.
Okay. Shoot. All right. Well, maybe I played my hand a little not close enough to the chest here. No, that's good. You know what? He deserves to be on somebody's team. It would have been. He's a good one. I've got a list of a handful more here to take for my last pick. Just kind of the ones that I'm thinking about, and you don't have to tell me your thoughts on them until after I do pick. But I've got John Dorenbus, another magician.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got the professional regurgitator, who I don't think can be a winner, but he could make some rounds because he's unique and a personality. I've got Jackie Ivanko.
Yes.
Who's a little older. I'm not sure about her, so I'm still kind of thinking about that one. We got the Sons of Serendip, the kind of classical music. We got the singer, the cello, the harp, the piano. I don't remember what they do, but I like them. Could go a totally different route with Light Balance, the LED dance group.
Yes.
Or I've also got Sophie Dossi, the contortionist, hand balancing, shooting arrows with her feet girl. It'd be tough to see me as her as a winner. I'm gonna take, because I don't have man, I'm real male heavy and not singer heavy. I'm going to take Jackie Evancho, but we may see her switched out. I don't know.
I think that's a pretty good pick. I kind of had her on my board later on. I could definitely have seen myself picking her. You know, her Deadly Games would have been on my list. Oh. Yeah, Sal would have been on my list. Light Balance. Okay. I mean, those are all some good acts that we can, you know, definitely look at putting on as free agency.
Yeah, we may see if we if you know, after we see a little bit from all of these people, if we want to do some shifting around now that we've seen sort of what these guys bring. So,
yep.
All right, this will be a lot of fun.
I'm going to kind of recap real quick for everybody of what we have. So you have Darcy Lynn, you have Lost Voice Guy, you have Piff, Susan Boyle, Shin Lim, Tokyo Myers, Tape Face, Kseniya, Simonova, Victor Key, and Jackie Evancho.
Feeling good about it.
I have Taylor Williamson, Tom Cotter, Kenichi, Prince Poppycock, Cosentino,
I think.
Cosentino, and I was saying it right the whole time. Cosentino, and I for some reason flubbed it. The Clairvoyants, Brian Justin Crum, Paul Zerden, Uzair Novrozov, and Alex Magala.
All right.
Feeling pretty good about it.
Okay.
So Monday night, AGT the champions. From understanding, it's only going to be one night a week. I'm not sure how each week's going to play out. Don't know when they're going to do eliminations. We're just going to kind of figure this out as we go week to week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be terribly surprised if we see, you know, performances and eliminations in the same night. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them the week later, or, you know, if they start, you know, just have one. There is no elimination; they just go to the next round, and these are the acts that moved on. You know, we'll see what they give us.
Well, I'm really excited about it. So tune in next week. We'll recap episode 1 of AGT the Champions.
All right. We'll see you next week. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Good night.